Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike and this is Mathematics Swords, and today I have an unboxing and first impressions video for you guys to enjoy. Now, this came all the way from Yadigan, Turkey, and I live in New England, and it took approximately 4 days for it to get here, which I thought was extremely impressive because I order things right here in the United States, and sometimes they take a week, sometimes they take 2 weeks to get to me, even for in-stock items. So that's very impressive, and I just had to throw that out there because I'm kind of into logistics and stuff like that, and that was impressive. So where is this from in terms of what company? This is a sword from swordbuy.com. Now, they are a fairly new company. They are out of Turkey, and they specialize in Islamic Ottoman era Turkish swords. And I first found out about them through Matthew Jensen's channel, and I think his channel is just called Matthew Jensen. He has a fantastic channel. He did a first impressions video of 2 of their swords, and I watched it and I thought to myself, wow, those look really cool. I would love to get my hands on one of those and do a review. So I went ahead and purchased one with my own money. I'm not sponsored by them. I did not get this sent for free, so this is my own investment here. I love buying swords, much to my wife's chagrin. She's like ready to throw all my swords out on the front lawn. But anyway, I purchased this with my own money, so just a disclaimer out there, I have no ties or affiliation to swordbuy.com. And I will put a link down below to their website where you can see all of their cool offerings. Now, I am very fascinated by Turkish swords, in particular the Shamshir and the Kilij, and I won't tell you which one I have in here. We're going to open it up and take a look. So yeah, without further ado, let's unbox this thing and see what's inside here and get some first impressions. All right, let's do it. So let me put my coffee down. So it came DHL in this very sturdy box that is fully wrapped in bubble wrap. So I can't foresee there being any damage inside here whatsoever. Very well packed. And that's very important. If you guys are spending money and having things shipped from overseas, it's important that the stuff is well packed. And it looks like they did a fantastic job here. We'll reuse this bubble wrap. Okay, it's a simple cardboard box, and it is got these straps, so let's go ahead and get these things off. All right. It's a beautiful morning, guys. That's why I decided to do this outside. I had a spot picked out inside my house to do this, and then I said to myself, oh my God, it's beautiful out. I should do this outside. All right. Some interesting noises for you guys there. Anything in here? Nope, just some cardboard. Okay, first thing to note, and this is actually pretty cool. It comes in a very fancy and nice felt-lined presentation box. Now, this is the only company that I know that does this sort of thing. I mean, some Chinese companies out of Longquan, China, they send boxes like these silk boxes or fancy boxes or swords that come with the silk bags. This is the first sword that I've seen that actually comes, that I bought, and I'm sure there's some out there, that come in a presentation box that is felt lined and everything. It looks like the box took a little bit of damage in shipment here on the corners, but you know, you're purchasing a sword, not a box. But it is pretty cool that they send this, and you know, I appreciate that kind of stuff. I know some sword collectors would rather see all of the money go into the sword and not the boxes. But you know, if the sword is good and functions nicely and is a good sword to use and good quality, and they give you a box like this, I think that's a plus. But if there's problems with the sword, and there's all kinds of issues and whatnot, the box is sort of like, hey, why did you spend the money on the box? Why didn't you just put it into the sword? So that I totally get. But I do have to say, first impressions of the presentation box are nice. It's a little scuffed up, but it is cool to have. So yeah, let's talk about where it's from. It's from Yatagan. Now, Yatagan, Turkey is a town or a district or a province. I'm not sure how they refer to it. And this came all the way from Yatagan. I got the shipping label here. Show you guys. Yatagan neighborhood. It's probably coming out backwards. But the Yatagan is well-known region for making Turkish swords, which goes back hundreds and hundreds of years, I believe. Just like Longquan in China, a region that's very well known for making swords and still producing swords today. These guys over in Yatagan are following in their sword making tradition. So, very cool. All right, let's get this thing open and see what's inside. Okay, so you open it up, and inside, let's rotate this around, is the sword. It is some promotional material. It is thoroughly wrapped in plastic, and they also include a like a particle board sword stand that is also wrapped in plastic. And so the promotional material, take a look at this real quick. I actually think this is kind of cool. They have a little ad here with some promotional artwork. It's pretty cool. They probably got an artist to do this for them. It's interesting. And then a little bit of information about their company here on the back. And then this is actually really interesting. This is basically just a disclaimer. Basically saying that these swords are for decorative or collectible purposes only. And, you know, it just goes on and on to state that this shipment and these products in this shipment are also completely for souvenir and decorative collective purposes. Thank you. Now, these swords are functional and what quote we would call battle ready. So yeah, I think this is basically a disclaimer to get around probably some local laws or Turkish laws in terms of shipment of things outside the country. That's what I assume. Yeah, so let's get the plastic off of these and take a look and see what we have. I'm actually very excited. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna turn this back around to me. Let's get the stand open first. So I did not opt for the sword that came with the scabbard. I didn't purchase the scabbard. It was a little bit extra. I think it was like maybe $40 or $50 extra for the scabbard. I didn't go for it just because I wanted to see. I knew it came with a box, and I knew it also came with a simple basic stand. So I just thought to myself, yeah, I'm not going to spring for the scabbard. Plus, I also saw from other review videos that the scabbard was actually not really that good. So I didn't really want to spend extra money on it. I'm not a guy who tends to focus too much on the scabbards. Maybe I should, because it is something that you do pay for. So yeah, comes with a little sword stand, which is actually kind of cool. Let me show you guys a little bit close up. Very simple to put together and very simple. I think this may be their logo, maybe in Turkish. I'm not really sure. Any Turkish speakers or readers out there can let me know. But yeah, it is pretty cool that it comes with this. All right, and let's get into the real business of this thing. All right, let's take the plastic off of this. Hold on, bear with me for one. Okay, so I have taken the sword out of the box, and here it is on the stand. And let's take a look at this thing. It is. Let me just move the table here a little bit. Okay, it's got some. It's a high polished blade. Now, the thing about this that is, well, first of all, what is it? You might say, guys, that it looks like a shamshir. And it's closely related to a shamshir. However, this is what they call a Turkish Kilij, or simply a Kilij. It's got the general shape of a shamshir, which I think is really cool. And the handle is very, very similar, the grip construction to a shamshir. So yeah, a Kilij. Now I have a shamshir in my collection. But I don't have a Kilij, and I think one of the main differences as you can see that this edge here flares out, and with a sharpened false edge here. So this is actually really cool, guys. It's not as heavy as I thought it was going to be. For some reason, I thought it was going to be much heavier than this, but it's not light. I'll tell you that. You can definitely tell it's got some mass and authority to it. I haven't done the measurements on it yet, but it's definitely not light. But it's not as heavy as I anticipated, or as big. I thought it was going to be bigger than this, and so I'm actually pretty pleased with the dimensions of it and the feel. It's a hefty blade. It's got some authority to it. Now, the interesting thing about these guys, they are using a 4034 stainless steel for their blades, and that is usually not done in sort of functional sword, in the functional sword market, usually using a high carbon steel. These guys claim that this steel is extremely durable and heat treated properly to the point where it can take some serious abuse, just like a high carbon steel would. So, I mean, that remains yet to be seen. I know Matthew Jensen is going to do a destructive test on one of these, so it'd be really interesting to see how much one of these blades can hold up. But from their promotional videos, as well as some other YouTubers' reviews, it seems as though these things can handle some serious abuse. Now, one thing that's really cool is they laser engraved, I believe, a really cool design right here, as well as some Arabic. I'm not sure what that says. I'm gonna have to kind of look that up. I don't read or speak Arabic. Although my father is from Lebanon, I still don't know anything about, well, I don't know how to read Arabic. Let's just put it that way. So, really, really cool, guys. It feels... It feels so cool. I kind of want to get out there and cut with this thing today. It's nice. So the handle, as you can see, or the grip, is pegged through right here, and you can see it is full tang. Now, I'm not sure how historical that is with these types of swords, or historical examples of Kilijes or Shamshirs. I know they frequently have pegs here through the tang. I just don't know if they're usually produced in a full tang design. However, I actually think that that's really cool for the durability and sturdiness of this blade. In taking a look at the crossguard, you can definitely make out casting marks. This crossguard is not one piece. It looks like it's two pieces that were cast and then somehow mounted on here. You can see the casting line here. Oh, there's the trash truck. The casting marks here. It has a I believe this is polished brass. The polishing kind of makes it look a little cheap. Probably would have been better if it were not polished, but I don't know. It's fine, I guess. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't really know what to make of it yet. I mean, so far it's really, really cool. I'm very impressed with the handling. It's oh man, I got to get out and cut with this thing. As you can see by the blade, they did put they start down here at the what I would call a ricasso is blunt, and then they start sharpening here, and they put in a fairly decent grind. Basically, it's got a looks like it's probably like a hollow grind, and then it does have a shallow secondary bevel there on the edge. The false edge they did grind down, but they did not sharpen, so I assume I could probably sharpen that no problem. The tip is rather wide there at the tip. You can see it. It's kind of wide. I don't know if this would actually be good for thrusting. I mean, you probably could thrust with it, but I mean, this is in fact a cutting sword, cutting blade, thrusting, although you could do thrusts with it. These Shamshirs and Kilijes are known for their cutting abilities. So, and it is It is very sharp, guys. I do have to admit, it is a sharp blade. It came quite sharp. It bites in really good. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I said these handles are made out of 2 pieces of walnut, and it's very nicely done. I can't really feel the tang. It's not really grabbing me there or anything like that. So yeah, I'm impressed. It looks like it's going to be a fun blade to work with. All right, so I got to cut with this thing. All right, guys. Well, that's my first impressions of this video, of this sword. Stay tuned for an actual review of this piece where I do some test cutting and try to put it through its paces. One more thing I want to note is it doesn't look like it has hardly any distal taper. It looks essentially like the same width all the way up until you actually probably get to the tip here. It tends to sort of narrow down a little bit. If there is distal taper, it's probably very, very minimal. I'll have to actually measure it. It doesn't seem to affect it in terms of how it handles, though. Not all swords historically had distal taper, so and I'm not sure if the Kilij historically had it. That would be something I would have to look up. But the lack of distal taper, although it does feel a little blade heavy, I bet you that will assist in the cutting capabilities of this sword. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. But, yeah, it's cool, guys. Okay, so this is the Kilij from swordbuy.com. And first impressions are relatively pretty good. I mean, this sword costs $239, I believe, shipped to your house. They offer free shipping, which I actually think is a very good deal. It is 100% handmade, except for maybe the castings, which are, you know, cast probably in mass. But it's a handmade sword. It looks really nice. It feels nice. We'll have to see how it is. It does have some roughness and crude finishing marks and things on it, but you can't really expect perfection for $239. And so far, my general impression of it is very good. Yeah, well, stay tuned for a review of this thing, and also stay tuned for a review of another sword that I have coming up very shortly. Thanks for coming by, guys, and have a really good day. See you next time.